Welcome to the installation movie for Moksa Video Stream. Moksa Video Stream is a plugin for Canto Cumulus and allows you to prepare a preview for Cumulus Sites so that your movies can be previewed, streamed in your browser, offering the customer or the user an easy access to your movies. It either prepares them for the Flash plugin or for HTML5. The advantage of using HTML5 MPEG-4 is that it is supported on mobile devices. First, download the latest version. You will receive a link upon ordering or requesting a download for a demo version from Moksa, and that means that you will receive a zip with the following content. You will see that there are different parts to this installation, so the best thing is to follow the install text file and of course this installation movie. First of all, it's important to know that it requires Cumulus 9 server, Cumulus 9 sites, and Canto Roboflow 9 installed and running. Moksa Video Stream 9 license will be created during the installation process. You will see it further down in the installation. Then first we've downloaded it, otherwise we couldn't open this document, and we will first have a look at the different parts. First, in the server console, we will import a set. So if I go to my folder and I go here to the for Cumulus server console, I can open my Cumulus client and go to the administration server console, and in the server console I can go to set manager import, and then I can go to the folder I want, video stream, server console, and here's the Moksa video sets. It contains two sets. It contains a catalog template called Moksa video catalog template, and it contains a record view set Moksa video. So importing is very quick and easy. The next step is open the catalog you want to use in for video stream. Go to preferences, catalog settings, record fields, and add a field. And select the catalog template called video catalog template and add the action table field. So we go to the Cumulus client. We can close the set manager and open the catalog. I prepared an empty catalog. Now we go to the preferences, and in the catalog settings all I have to do is add field. I can go to the template, or I know that the field is called action table, so I can just choose it from here. And now this field is added to my catalog, which is actually all that I needed. Here you can see that we have the record view set, which now has this action table field available in the catalog. The next step is your asset handling set that is used for Cumulus should not have the video stream module enabled. The video asset store, because the video asset store can separate one record into multiple records, like a PDF can become pages of a PDF, and video stream does not work with the individual shots it can only work with the actual movie. Then the next step is go to Roboflow installation folder, stop Roboflow, copy the content for the Roboflow folder inside Roboflow. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to stop Roboflow. So here in the Roboflow folder, I run Roboflow stop. You know that you should never stop Roboflow service just like that. Always use this stop script because then it gives Roboflow nicely the opportunity to stop all the individual parts, the threads in memory. Going back to my installation, I'm just copy pasting this and putting it into my Roboflow folder like this. Good. Now that was very simple. The next step is that you must be sure that the domain user that is running the Roboflow service has full permissions on the Roboflow folder and subfolder. Has to be like this actually, because otherwise Roboflow cannot create or use the folders to store the temp files or the temp versions of Roboflow, of the workflow. So the next step is that we are going to import the individual scripts, the individual workflows. So we have to start Roboflow again. So I can go to my services and start Roboflow. Canto Roboflow start. You will notice that the scripts that we copied in here, low-res FFmpeg, low-res Handbrake, we have here the possibility to work with any external video conversion tool that can be called command line. We configured it for two very common or popular ones. One is called FFmpeg and the other one is called Handbrake. I added the links to it to enable you to download. In a few steps down the road you will see what I mean with that. So I go back to my services. In the meantime, the service is active, so I can now start Roboflow. So I can now go to the server console. Let's refresh, and I log in as Cumulus administrator and go to Roboflow. Since this is the very first time that I go to Roboflow, and actually the manual said that you should have pre-configured it, but I want to show this really from scratch. You should go here and should first of all set up the IP address of Cumulus server. In my case it's localhost. The user to use to run Roboflow, I'm going to use the Cumulus administrator. Set the password, and then also very important, Roboflow notifies via email if something is wrong with a workflow. So since it's an automatic process, it's very important that an administrator inside your organization is kept in the loop to know what is happening with the workflows. So email address here, the sender, and the person to notify in case of an error. Good. Then, very important, define the default permissions set to use. Use one with all permissions enabled, because otherwise Roboflow can run into trouble. Same for the asset handling set. Make sure that everything is enabled of the functionalities that you want Roboflow to be able to use. Once we've set this up, now we can import the workflow. So I'm first going to browse for the import file. The import file is in that zip that I unzipped for Roboflow, or it's in your root folder in the meantime of Roboflow because you copied it over. And then I can click here to import. It says workflows imported. So here are my two workflows. The first workflow will find new records to process. It runs every 5 minutes. You can set it every hour if it's not so urgent, or every half an hour. But here I've set it to run every 5 minutes. And what do you need to set up is the name of your catalog, or if it's one catalog, you can select it. If it's multiple, you should separate it with semicolons like this. But in this case, I'm just going to select it. If you want another search criteria to base your searches on, you can. This is looking for the item creation date in the last, has changed in the last hour. So if the record was created within the last hour, it will be processed. What is the most important parameter here is this. This parameter defines which field formats or file formats you want to process. You have to call it as an action, call it preview, and then you can define which conversion tool to use. As I mentioned before, we will configure the tools after this part, but here you define which conversion you want to use. If it's an MOV, for instance, I'm saying I want to convert it to an FLV. If using FFmpeg, or I can use FFmpeg to convert it to MP4 basic, or you can use Handbrake to convert it to MP4. If you're not experienced with FFmpeg, Handbrake is a very easy way to go, because Handbrake has a GUI in which you can set it up. So if you're not experienced with FFmpeg, you can do this and this, and that's it. Server permission is something that is not used in this workflow, but here it's very important that you tell the system what the file extension will be that is coming back from your external tool. As I mentioned, you can use any external tool. It's just a batch file that you are calling here with two parameters, the file name in and the file name out. So if I finished setting this up, you don't touch this part. This is the logic of the workflow, which will look for every new record and create parameters for it, the proper conversion parameters for it, so that the conversion workflow, being the second workflow, has all the right information to run. This runs every 3 minutes. I wouldn't run it much faster. So here, here you need to set up the video catalog or catalogs. Same here. If it's multiple, just separate by semicolon, and then the query looks for the status field inside the action table to be having the value new, and a parameter 7 field of that action table having a value. In that param 7 you will find the file extension that he has to convert. So that's how he knows that he has to do a conversion. Another important thing is the delivery behind the scenes of the file is done with direct URL. It uses the asset delivery catalog, which we will add in a moment. And so the only thing you have to configure in this URL maybe is if your of course the URL of your website and the name of your sites folder. If it's root, then you just remove this and leave this like this. If it's another name, then you have to specify it, and this will automatically make sure that the query, the alternate preview is available in sites. Out of the box, it will use the temp folder inside Roboflow, and it will use a folder called output inside Roboflow. If this means that this location will require some storage before temporary putting in files and picking them up immediately after. So if you prefer to put them on another location, you can do that as well. Just specify the path here. Be very careful. If you put this on a network drive, it could slow down the process enormously. Make also sure that your tool that you will be calling has access to these folders, read-write access to these folders. So the tool is called from Roboflow, so using the same domain user. So these folders will be automatically created by Roboflow. Then the target catalog, as we said before, is asset delivery, and then an asset handling set and a permission template that will be used for cataloging the result, the converted file in the asset delivery catalog. So the alternates or the converted versions will go in a separate catalog. Once you set this up, again, this part is very technical and is the business logic of this workflow. So please do not touch it because otherwise you might break the workflow. I see that I make a typo like this. Okay. So the workflows are prepared. The next step can be found here in our explanation. We already did that, and now we come to the out-of-the-box video stream. Comes with sample scripts for FFmpeg and Handbrake. You can find the links to these products and you can install them. Let me show you how that works. Let me go to the Roboflow folder where I copied those links in. If I go to FFmpeg on this website, you will find the download version. You can download this version, and when you click on it, it will come here in your download folder. And then what you can do is you can unzip it, and then you get this. All you have to do with this for FFmpeg is just like this, and we copy paste this to our Roboflow folder. So this is how easy it is to install FFmpeg. You will notice that the scripts that call FFmpeg, these two scripts, have a relative path to it. So that means that it looks for in the current folder /FFmpeg. If you want to put it somewhere else, then please put it, hard-code it here to the folder and to the drive where it needs to run. Okay, that was for FFmpeg. For Handbrake, there's also a shortcut here, and here you can download, for instance, the 30-bit version, and then you can run the installer. As an example, I already did this a few moments before this installation, and I installed it on my C drive under Program Files, and then we should find Handbrake here. So you will notice that if I go to the script for Handbrake, that I've already set the path to it, and make sure you set it to the CLI.exe, the executable. CLI is command line interface, so this way it calls it command line. You can add any of the parameters that are available for Handbrake or FFmpeg in the other FFmpeg script. But why is Handbrake so easy to use? Because you can also define presets in Handbrake. That means that I have a preset that I call normal, and all I have to do is in Handbrake, in the application Handbrake, which I'm going to start now. This is your tool, and this tool you can add any number of presets, and you can learn from other presets or use those presets to know how to convert to FFmpeg, so it can be available on other devices like iPad and Android, etc. Tuning it for those specific platforms. So that is why I prefer much more to use Handbrake over FFmpeg if I'm converting, of course, to MP4. If you're converting to FLV, you cannot use Handbrake. So I didn't have to do anything because I installed Handbrake in the default location. So my scripts should work fine, and my converter is pre-configured. Let's look at the last few steps that we have to do. Here is, I have to go to my sites folder. I have to stop my Tomcat, and I copy the Moksa video stream folder inside the customizations folder. And I have to make sure that in the admin there is, in the sites config, there is an admin configured. So let's stop my Cumulus Web Solutions for a moment. Let's go to the Roboflow folder, and here we have the sites folder, this one, Ctrl+C, and then we can go to my web solutions, web apps, and then either you create a new folder or a new sites environment if you want to do that separately for your video, or if this is your standard installation, you just go in here and you paste this right in. Be careful maybe to check if you have other personalizations. The video stream personalizes these 5 pages, so if you already personalized one of those, then you should take a look inside. Actually, probably the ones you might have personalized is sites.gspx. The only thing that is added in sites.gspx is this piece, so you could add it at the same place in your sites config, and the pin collection file is exactly the same. Pin collection sites is actually a copy of sites, but then for pin collections, and it's added the same block at about the same place in the environment. Okay, it's very important that you configure in the so in sites you have to set up a direct URL user. We go to the server console, sites config, and we have to make sure that this direct URL is set up correctly, is working properly. The admin user is not necessary, and also important is to add video catalog. You can have multiple catalogs. Only for those catalogs with the special setup, the preview can work. So I'm saving this setting, and then it is specified that you have to restart sites twice because it first will copy in the new version and then it will load the new version. So I can say restart, and then I can say restart. At this point, we cannot yet go to sites because we still haven't added our asset delivery catalog. The next part is in the Cumulus client. In the Cumulus client, we are going to do just that. So first of all, close the Cumulus client and copy the license, an EJAP in the Cumulus client, and then we will also copy the asset delivery catalog in the catalogs folder. So I'm going to my installation folder, and in my installation folder I'm looking for the client EJAP. I say copy, and then here I go to my client EJAP, and in this EJAP folder I paste this license manager. Of course, I should not paste the zip in. I need to paste this. So I need to paste, and then I can drop that empty folder, and the zip will probably be somewhere below. So it's really the folder that needs to be copied in and not the zip. Just like that, it should contain these parts. And then for the Cumulus catalog, we will come back in a second to the catalogs folder, where I will copy in the asset delivery catalog. So catalogs folder, Control C, and then we're going to the asset delivery folder. So software, Cumulus Enterprise catalogs, and pasting the catalog in. Now I can start my Cumulus client, and in the Cumulus client I can add the catalog, add the list, asset delivery catalog. I'm going to open it, go to the preferences of the catalog, and I have to make sure that this catalog is shared and allows web access, and that's all there is to it. I can save this. For the actual activation of the license, I refer to another demo movie that explains how to add licenses or activate licenses, so you can check that movie out. You will also find a link in the manual pointing to that movie. Let's have a look for the final part. So I'm skipping the registration and activation, and let's have a look at the final part. Here is restarting Roboflow and cataloging a script, cataloging a video file. So I can go back to the Cumulus client, and I can catalog a file. I'm first going to open my video catalog, and I'm going to catalog a file using the standard asset handling set, and I'm going to pick this up from think some example movies, demo files. Okay, and let's see what I could take. For instance, I could take this one, open. So I've cataloged the file, and now the system will automatically process this file. So if we have a look at Roboflow, I have to connect again. There's Roboflow. So this workflow ran a couple of minutes ago, so I can say start now, and if I have a look in my Cumulus client once he's done, I can see that there's now a new entry waiting to be processed. It says that it has to call this plugin. It has to call this script, and it's going to execute that script in the next workflow. So I'm going to have a look here, and I'm going to say start, just to speed up the process. And at this point it will start processing the file, and as soon as it's ready, we will see that the information will change in here. And there you see that it just changed. So now it has created the preview for that image. So now we can have a look inside Sites. I log in as a normal user. I see my catalogs, and one of them is video. At this point there's only one video, but if I click the preview button, I nicely get the html5 integration, and I can play my movie. I can jump in it. So my video stream module is installed and ready to use. If you have any questions, just contact us at support.moksa.com or via a Zendesk ticket. Thank you for joining, and see you in the next movie.